Hello, you're very welcome to the Women's Rugby Pod, episode 165. Every week, all the way through the season here in the UK. I'm Johnny Hammond. Alongside me, Sadia Kabea.
Hello, I'm back.
You are back, and you've been busy. We've had a delay recording today. The uni work. You're back in rugby. You've been getting back to the game. Tell us all about it, you busy lady.
Yes, I've been busy. Just been using my free time really to go and do a bit of coaching and visits in schools around Nottingham and rugby clubs around Nottingham, which has been actually really fun to go in and, go into PE classes and classes with girls who are just starting out in rugby or have a little bit of interest in rugby or have no clue what rugby is. But to come in as, someone who's at the top of their game, and then for them to see me and then finish the session and be like, oh, I actually really like rugby. And girls are coming up to me at the end being like, do you know who my local club is? Or like, how did you get into rugby outside of school? So it's been really nice. It's been really rewarding. And to go to also rugby clubs. I went to a rugby club in Nottingham to help out for a fundraiser. And a week later, they managed to hit their goal, which was, just so amazing, because not only is it rewarding for me, but also being able to help and give back has been really, really good. And then, just keeping up with my uni work in the background.
Wow. I'm exhausted just listening. What was the... How do these things come about? And please mention the school if you remember the name and the name of the rugby club.
I went to Nottingham Casuals in Nottingham, and they just reached out to me on Instagram a while ago, and I sorted that. But the school ones were done through NLD, which is a rugby organisation, a Nottingham rugby organisation, and they reached out to me, and then we organised these free school visits around Nottingham. I can't remember the names if I'm being honest.
But it's awesome, isn't it? Do a spot of coaching myself, and just actually to be able to impart the love of a game that you clearly have onto somebody else that possibly isn't in that groove of loving it is incredibly rewarding, isn't it? Yeah, no, it's great, and just to see people running around with the ball with smiles on their faces, it's such a good feeling. Awesome, well done you. So there you are. There's how to get Sadia Kabea on a coaching. Just slide into the DMs and ask her, and she can hardly say no because she's that kind of person. And uni works, busy away. Plus, we're back on the park. We are back in full training. Not back playing just yet. Hopefully in a week. But back full training. So back in the normal schedule, which means I don't get half the day off, which I've been used to. And then back in uni, a few assessments and stuff coming up because it's coming to the end of semester 1, which is the usual year. So just been very busy. Very busy indeed. And coming back from a pretty lengthy layoff, is the mental challenge up there with the physical challenge in terms of confidence? I think definitely. Definitely. I think because I have a hamstring injury, which is quite not touch and go, but you don't know if it's going to be fully healed until you do the mechanism that you done to tear it, which is sprinting at full speed. So you can jog, you can jump, you can lift heavy weights in the gym, and it can feel great until you go and do your sprint. So I managed to check that off this week and last week doing my high speed, but it's definitely a big mental challenge. So I'm thinking, oh god, I don't know, is it going to be okay? But I have to trust in the physios, trust in the work that I've done, and I think. But in terms of actually playing, like when I'm back in training, I don't have that mental block. Like when I'm running around, I think I've just been itching the bit to get back, especially because I did it during pre-season. It's been a long time just, gymming and running and getting fit. So I think mentally when I'm on the pitch, I'm fine. It's just that actual passing the checkpoints to get back fit is where I'm like, oh, I don't know. But I think that's very common with a hamstring or any muscle injury because, you can't really scan it every single step of the way to see
if it's fully healed or whatever, you just have to trust the process.
But you're in a good place.
We're in a good place. We're in a very good place.
Good. Well, it was round 2 of the PWR at the weekend.
Yeah, round 2 of the PWR kicked off on the weekend. On Saturday, Ealing versus Saracens, with Saracens coming away with the win, 52-18. Gloucester-Hartpury got their season up and running with a thumping 52-14 victory over Leicester. It was 14-0 up at half-time. People were actually talking about how Leicester won the second half, but I mean, a 52-14 score is still quite a thumping. On Sunday in the live game on TNT, Exeter beat Bristol with the bonus point and a fairly comfortable win in the end, which means Saracens and Exeter lead the way on 10 points each. Quins picking up a losing bonus point have 6. Bristol, Gloucester-Hartpury and Sale now on 5 points. The new kids on the block, Ealing and Leicester on 1, and Lightning yet to record a point. They had a bye week last week.
Yeah, and you've only played one game. You're very keen to
yes, only one game so far.
Only one game so far. Well, the result of the weekend was undoubtedly Sale bouncing back from a fairly abject loss to Bristol the week before, beating Harlequins 35-31. Niamh Swailes joins us on the pod now, the Sale Sharks hooker. There she is, sliding straight into the virtual studio. Niamh, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Thank you very, very much for joining us. Sadia, meet Niamh, meet Sadia.
Hi.
Hello.
Look, we're just talking about just going through the results there. It's early in a new season and it's all shiny and glossy and whatever. But that's a really good win, isn't it? It's a good statement win.
Yeah, unreal. I think that's that's our first time beating Quins as well. Yeah, unreal, especially from a bad result the week before. So puts in like a bit of confidence for the rest of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to refer back to the Bristol game. I was lucky enough to be there. Yes, it just I spoke to Rachel Taylor after the game. It just wasn't kind of you. What did you do in the week to bounce back?
So Tails, she relays messages in a different way. It's never boring. She uses metaphors or like songs to like relay her messages. And then last week it was a song, and she just reminds us like how we want to be this season. We talk about top 4 teams and what their qualities are and like how we want to be, and we're reminded like that season, like this season, that we want to have them qualities, and how we didn't have them qualities on that Bristol game on Quinn.
Just cutting out slightly on the line there, but we've got to know the song. If you are we allowed to draw the curtain away from behind?
Honestly, I can't remember it.
It was impactful then.
It was who was it? That's gonna annoy us because I literally have it in my head.
It'll come to you.
It will come to us. It will.
It will come to you. Brilliant stuff. And talking particularly about Harlequins, what were those particular qualities possibly that you've just referenced there that got you over the line against Harlequins?
We say that like top 4 teams are relentless and clinical, and I definitely think that's what we were at the weekend. We also talk about like focus to full 80, and we weren't 100% full focused for the full 80, but yeah, I do think that we are getting there. And then hopefully by the end of the season, we have all these qualities to be able to compete at the highest standard. Yeah,
there was some good tries in there. One from yourself. It seems to me that there's, in terms of the signings, I think there's some marquee signings that you've certainly made, but that's blended into a really nice weave of some experienced players who've been at the club since the beginning, the Irwin twins. I know they're not twins. I know they're not twins. And some, I know Tails has a real preference on your youngsters like yourself. The blend seems to be a good one now. Is it a nice place to be? Is that kind of the feeling within the camp as well? You're able to compete now.
Yeah, definitely. Like I love playing at Sale. It's a really good environment, and like the signings are like Taish, Bea, Mars. They've all been like, they just raise the standard like on and off pitch, but it's also like lovely to see like how much they enjoy it. Like, they come to training, there's smiles all the time, even like with everyone. It's just a lovely environment to play at.
You know one of the signings particularly well, don't you, Sadia?
Yeah, obviously, Moana coming from Lightning. What has she been like coming into the club? Because obviously now she's gone to vice captain within the club. And I know she's, been focusing a lot on leadership and wanting to like impose that on the pitch. And obviously last week coming away with 2 tries in a really important game. How important has she been for the club?
Yeah, she's been incredible. Like, I find like she's really inspiring because she's only 21 and like she's achieved so much. It's just crazy to think like how far you could go at such a young age. She's incredible, and I think as well like it's great to see how she can develop. Like, something that she'd like to develop would be like a leadership role, and like it's great to see that she has gotten that last week, and see how far she can go with that.
For me, she's the new Alex Matthews in the respect that I'm so ancient. I remember Gary Street talking to me about Alex Matthews when she was about 15, 16. And yet, Streety, what on your continued recovery? Keep going, pal. And then Simon Middleton spoke to me at Wasp. It was a Lightning Wasp game, and his Miranda Talon came off the bench, and I think she was 16, 17, something like that. And he said, yeah, she's going to be really, really special. She's got over her injury worries now, and she's going to, make some waves. Beatrice Rigoni. No, that's the English way of saying her first name, but she's a maverick, isn't she? She's just a superstar. What's she bringing? Apart from the sunglasses, I know she's got a snood now rather than the sunglasses. But what's she bringing to the party?
Honestly, just energy. Like, she has so much flair. And she's hilarious too. Like, she is so funny. Like ups the pace of the game like completely. Like, she's incredible in that sort of sense, and she can play anywhere as well. Like, she's so versatile. She's incredible.
Yeah, she was at 10 at the weekend, wasn't she? With that interception try. And you yourself, you say you're enjoying your ruggers at Sale, and internationally, where you at? What are the aspirations? Do you set a 2, 3, 5 year plan? Where are you personally?
Personally, I've still got 1 year of under 20s left, so hopefully, like, make an impact with that team this season as much as I can. And really, it's just more like this season, like, focuses on me, keep growing. Because I think, especially as a hooker, like, you grow into your position. Like, people have saying like you peak at like your late 20s type of thing is my position. So it's more like, don't like get too ahead of myself or anything like that. Especially just focus on the now, and then what happens will happen in its own time.
Yeah, those England hookers on the downside of their careers rather than the upside, aren't they? Like Amy Cockayne and
you can't say that, Johnny.
I mean, I think I just have, and I hopefully know them both well enough to know that I always say these things with tongue in cheek. But
they're old souls. They're old souls.
Amy Cockayne with the Crocs and all the rest of it. She is definitely a very old soul. Brilliant stuff. And just tell us about the combination of Katie Daly-McLean, MBE, and Rachel Taylor, and some changes in the backroom staff alongside those two.
Yeah, like, she's got great experience. She does a lot of skills sort of thing with the backs. She's great, especially like with our 10s and playmakers. In tails, she's just incredible. Like, last season, she didn't have a lot of help, and she's done that all on her own, really. She's just so inspiring. And like, as I said, like, the way she relays her messages is great, and she makes it such a great environment. And then this season we've had Daggy, Louise Daglish and Mark Luffman-Lafez. Daggy, she's been really good and well, like, with the backs, skills wise. She just raised the standard, really, like, even literally just little things like catch pass, like, she's raised the standard for us. And I think Lafez, like, our set piece, like, he's been really good. It's like more like a full circle, more really kind of with Lafez, because when I was 17 at DMP, he was like that was my first throwing coach sort of thing. So yeah, it's like mental state that like I could literally only throw 5 meters like when I was 17, and then now I'm like playing in the Prem and with him there. So yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure that is not lost on him. I've got a lot of time for Luffers. He's a salt of the earth kind of guy, and yeah, it was great to see him back involved. You got one more question to remember the song. The ambitions for Sale this season.
I think keep building. Like we can't expect like huge things to happen within a season, like within a couple of seasons we've had. But I think this season people will take us more seriously because of the season we had last season. So just proving that like we belong in this league and that we can do great things and that rugby belongs back up in the north. Like with something that's close to my heart is the Northern Rugby Matters. So yeah, just proving that it does matter. Yeah.
It really does. That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Dave. Really, really appreciate your time. I know you got to shoot off, but yeah, really appreciate you spending some time with us and a little deep dive into Sale Shocks. Good luck with the 20s. Good luck with Sale. Yeah, you're a nice bunch to be around, and yeah, good luck with it all.
Cheers. Thank you, guys.
I'm Shani Williams, and you're listening to the Women's Rugby Pod.
So there we are. Niamh Swailes speaks well, doesn't she? And Sale, look, it takes time, doesn't it? And people do these things in a different way. If you think that Exeter started up at the same time as Sale, and they've done it in a different way, and therefore, Exeter making some sort of changes over the off season now that probably more than others had to, and Sale have done it in a really sustainable way. And reading between the lines, and this is my thoughts rather than anything else, but if Sale were refused a place in the new Premiership, I understand that was because they weren't given enough support in trying to uphold rugby in the north, and it's that important to them that it was never really going to be sacrificed, but actually that they said no, we want to do this properly. And the men's team and the women's team, it's a club that are really building and solid foundations, you feel.
Sale, they've been chipping away slowly since they've joined the Prem, and I think they're it's all coming to the surface now, and they're reaping the rewards, especially with that result from the weekend. But like you said, they're a team where they want to do everything at a high standard, and if that means, like you said, being able to join up with the men and put out the best that they can performance-wise, but also facility-wise and training-wise and coaching-wise, then they're going to do that. So it's really nice to see that they have been able to, come back together and build as a team. And yeah, hopefully it only continues to get better.
And I think with you look at a lot of these things, and you look at the people at the top of the organisation. I know for a fact Michelle Orange is very involved in the women's team. KDM, we know what an incredible rugby brain she has. Rachel Taylor, work ethic, a former international captain herself as well. Mark Luffman in there. Yeah, just some really good people. And they've taken that step up, haven't they, in terms of the signings for this season?
Rigoni, Moena, Tasha Harper, getting these names in who are, in their own right, amazing players. And it seems like they've come in and they've, slotted right into that Sale Sharks values and their team values. And it's only added to how they're playing. So, yeah.
It was a good win for Saracens as well. A doubleheader at Valliswade Ealing Trailfinders, 1852. Saracens are going to be there or thereabouts again, aren't they?
It seems so. It seems so. I mean, obviously, two big results for their first two games. And it seems like, the internationals have come back and they've, brought up that standard from where they were in the cup, kept that cup standard, and are only just building from then. And it seems like on the pitch they've already clicked, and to do that so early on in the season, like you said, I think they're gonna continue to stay somewhere near the top.
And great to see Zoe Harrison back. That's a really long layoff.
Yeah, I know she's had such a long time out, and she's been working so hard to get back. And for her to come back in, such good form, and I think she's in great spirits as well. It's really good to see, and obviously, I'm sure Sarries have missed her, and I'm sure she will be back in the England shirt soon too.
Just breach tries. Sophie Bridges, talk to me about her. Just quietly going about her business, but Alex Austerbury hasn't singled many people out, but has been very, very pleased with the way she started the season.
Sophie Bridge, she's been working so hard over pre-season. Obviously, she's been in England camp, went away to WXV, got her first cap. So she's been on an absolute rocket of a journey over the past six months. And I think she's a really, really special talent. I think she's one of those centres which have, the best of both worlds. She can run, she can pass. She's a great ball carrier as well. So, I mean, she has every right to be getting the props from Alex. And I think, she's one of those people who just work away in the background, but I'm sure she'll be, in people's mouths and in people's ears a lot throughout the season.
Good stuff. And Ealing, Abby Dow is just a sensation. She's another couple of tries at the weekend. I just fear that someone like Abby can score tries from absolutely nothing, as we all know. Whether when she's away with England, whether they're going to rely on that sort of individual talent too much.
Yeah, I mean, that's always, or especially as they're a new team and they have made some good signings. Obviously, you want to be able to, work as a team and not fall back on those start players like Abby Dow, like their Sevens girls as well. And who did they play last week? Their game.
Now you're testing me. It was Harlequins, 17-25, something like that, I believe.
Yeah. So even
17-22. Yeah.
17-22. I remember seeing that result and thinking, oh, that was close. But obviously, Quins are on their own journey at the moment. But like you see, when they come up against the bigger teams, the top four teams, like you said, it is a worry. But I know what Giselle Maver is like, and she always finds a way to bring her troops back together. So it'll be interesting to see how they go over the rest of the season.
You mentioned Harlequins there on their own journey. Yeah, I'm with you. It's seems like a funny place. The captaincy's changed over to Jay Conkle, and looks like she's going to be out for a while. Saw a nasty old picture on social media with her down, saying might be out for a while. That's a big old loss. Plenty of established Harlequins players gone. The Breaches, the Cocaines, these kind of players. Ellie Green as well. Not too many starts, but a real Quinn through and through. Where are they on that journey, as you mentioned?
I'm not quite sure where they are on the journey. I think, very similar to Lightning. I think they have a lot of talent and a lot of on paper they are a really strong team. From their club players, from their cup players to their internationals. They have a lot of talent in there. I think there's just something in there that's not clicking at the moment. So I think they're just trying to find their feet in their way of playing. I don't know if that's through captaincy or if through training. They've had a few coaching changes, with maybe Aaron Turner coming in, new set piece coaches, new forward coaches coming in. So maybe it's just a bit too much shifting going on, and now they're trying to find their feet and find how Quins play again. So I think they're just in the point of finding what that Quins way is.
As you say, lots of change, almost permanent change with various personnel, whether it be some coaching and players. Going to have to pick it back up. I just wonder whether there's some bedding in time for the Hellas, the South African number 8, Lacha. They both scored at the weekend. But as you say, on paper, it is a very talented squad still, and nobody is writing them off being there or thereabouts come the end of the season. Champions. That's terrible, isn't it? You've got to sit out week 1 jumping at the bit, long pre-season, all the rest of it. But you want to make a statement, and poor old Leicester are at the hands of a 52-14 win from the Circus.
40-0 at half time. They were definitely chomping at the bit to get out, and put as many points on the scoreboard as possible. And I think that's a sign of a good team. No matter who you're playing, when you're playing, they're always going to put out their best performance. A bit of a slower second half, but still a 52-14 win is nothing, to brush over lightly. So yeah, Gloucester's still obviously in great form from last season, and I'm sure they're going to be hoping to finish in the same place.
Yeah, it was interesting. Kelly Smith. I mean, she's not Kelly Smith anymore, is she? Oh, I can't remember the name of her husband, who's a rugby player. Second row. It'll come to me. Like Niamh. But great to see her back, because again, really lengthy layoff for her. She's a real stalwart of that club, a good player as well. El Perry back as well in the front row. I think she picked up player of the match. Got a try. She's a mum. Well, Sarah Beckett, that was a nice score from her. Mo Hunt is fizzing around. We'll chat about her a little bit later as well. For Leicester, almost a little bit like Ealing. Meg Jones, a couple of conversions and a try. Got a try last week as well, didn't she? Absolute talent. Let's hope she continues to do good stuff with Leicester, because she's staying with 15s now, as I understand, rather than going off to 7s. She's certainly not in Dubai this weekend.
No, yeah, not in Dubai this weekend, but I think
Olympics, right?
Olympics, yeah, she is. I think she's doing the Olympics.
So where everybody fitting well in an England midfield or even backline, where does Meg Jones play, Sadia Kabir? Yeah,
I have no clue. I mean, I would absolutely hate to be John Mitchell at the moment, or when everyone's back fit. Obviously, with the likes of Emily Scarrett coming back, Zoe Harrison being back, Holly Aitchison in that 10 slot at the moment. You've got Tatiana Hurd, you've got Amber Reid in those centres, and obviously Meg Jones, you've got Helena Rowland. So it's an absolute embarrassment of riches. And I think, Meg Jones is one of those people that have the ability to change the game. So whether you start or whether you have her on the bench, I think she always needs to be on that team sheet. But I have no clue what they're going to do.
Wonderful, wonderful headaches to have. And in the Sunday game, it's hoping for a sort of real contest between Exeter and Bristol. It didn't kind of turn out that way in the end. Bristol started with a real bang, and after that kind of just felt that it was a fairly comfortable win in the end for Susie Appleby's bunch. The Americans make a big difference, don't they? I hope Rogers is back at the moment, but Rachel Johnson, what does she like to play again?
Rachel Johnson is an absolute wrecking ball. I mean, I feel like every team who comes up against her, they always know that when she gets the ball, when she's landing you up in a tackle, you don't want to run directly at her, and you don't want her running directly at you. I think, she's just she's a great athlete, and she's great around the park. So, yeah, not the easiest person to come up against.
No, indeed not. Gabby Cantorna, really nice foil to Alex Tessier in that midfield. That partnership's going to grow and grow. I like the way Alex Tessier plays the game. Very unflappable, does all the nuts and bolts really, really well. Kobayashi was due to be starting. She didn't in the end. Marion Deutsch at 13. I think she's a fullback. I really like her as a player. But Kate Buchanan was player of the match. An outstanding performance from her. They're top four for you, Exeter?
Yeah, I definitely think there will be a top four as long as they keep in form. Yeah, I think they've got everything they need to make their top four again.
And Bristol, they made absolutely no bones about it. Dave Ward, the head of honcho there, very vocal about what they want to do. The aim and the season effectively would be a failure if they didn't get a top two home semi-final. As a player, would you like hearing that kind of stuff from your head coach, those kind of open ambitions?
I don't know what the like team culture at Bristol. Maybe like that's their team culture. You know, they like to aim super high, and if they don't achieve that, maybe that's what drives them to get to the top. So for me personally, I'm not sure how I'd be, but maybe that's what they're used to in that environment. It seems like Dave is quite a vocal coach anyway. So I can imagine in all the meetings and their pre and post game meetings, he's very vocal about what they want, and you know what they're looking up to. And obviously, it's quite daunting when your coach does say that. But I think I'm feeling for Bristol, that's something that drives them.
Yeah, I get the feeling two semi-final losses, both away from home. He's a bright coach. He's looked at the stats. You don't win away from home in a semi-final, and to get over that kind of hurdle, you put that challenge out, and it's kind of laid that down for his players. I think there's enough experience, enough quality. Yeah, Abby Ward's back now, big leader within that squad to kind of embrace that challenge. So, yeah, there we are. Let's see how they get on this weekend. Speaking of this weekend, on Friday night under the lights at Shaftesbury Park, Bristol host Gloucester-Hartpury. It's a tough game, 5-day turnaround. Saturday sees Sale host Exeter. London Derby as Saracens go to the Stoop to face Harlequins. And on Sunday in the live game on TNT, it's a double header at Welford Road. Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. With Leicester versus Loughborough Lightening. Another derby.
Another derby. First derby for Leicester and Lightning.
Let's get you up to date with all the news now from other parts of the globe. To Ireland, just one game in the AAL Ireland League. Railway Union move up to third after a comprehensive 78-10 win at Wicklow. This weekend, Bellencog take on Galwegians. UL Bows travel to Old Belvedere. And the game of the weekend has to be Railway Union hosting Blackrock College, while Wicklow are off to Satonians.
Over to Brazil, a mini-series between Portugal and Brazil. So Portugal tie the series with 13-5 win in Sao Paulo.
In France, Elite 1 Feminine, round 2. Pool 1, Bobogny lost 44-3 to Montpellier. Rogmanat Clermont beat Lille 46-0. Stade Francais lost 64-5 to Stade Bordelais. In Pool 2, Blagnac victorious over Grenoble 32-6. Stade Toulousain won on the road at Lyon 32-20, and Stade Rennais won a tight one 25-20 against Lens. This week, round 3, Montpellier versus Stade Francais. Lille take on Bobogny, while Stade Bordelais, the champions, host Rogmanat. In Pool 2, Blagnac travel to Lens. Stade Toulousain host Stade Rennais, and Grenoble are at home to Lyon.
Fiji won the Pacific Games gold medal over the weekend, their 4th title in a row in Solomon Islands, but it was Wallace and Futana that stole the headlines, picking up the bronze medal in their first ever tournament. Rugby only started to be played 10 years ago, so very much developing, but this will be a huge boost.
Yeah, it will indeed. And as ever, thank you, Scrum Queens, for that information. John Birch, top man with all that kind of detail. Let's get into the fixtures from the PWR this weekend. Let's give those a little preview.
I'm Sarah Hiddenate, and you're listening to the Women's Rugby Pod.
Let's work chronologically. Bristol hosting Gloucester-Hartpury. Ooh. That's a tough game. Where's that going to be won and lost?
I think it's definitely won and lost in the backs. I feel like the forward packs, Bristol and Gloucester, you know, they are huge packs, and I feel they're going to go out in one another. Huge collisions, you know, good scrummaging packs. Obviously, Bots and Burner packing down with Lark in that front row, and Gloucester, their Welsh props, they are, you know, really strong, but I feel like in the back line is where it's been won and lost, because I know, well, I'm a forward myself, but I know the forwards are going to do what they can do. It will just be whether the backs can, you know, turn up on the day. So I think that is where it's been won and lost in those wide channels.
Yeah, the Deb Willis and Renika Bonnet of this world. They do like to keep the ball, don't they, to Bristol? And at the weekend, when they didn't have the ball, they looked lost is far too strong, but they look uncomfortable when they don't have it. Gloucester will be conscious of that. It's a smart coaching bunch with Sean Lynn.
Bristol they're a team who like to play from their 5 metre all the way to the opposite try line. Like you said, they like to keep the ball quite a lot. So yeah, I'm sure Gloucester would have done their analysis and done their research and know when to get the ball, when to keep the ball, and how to build the pressure against Bristol, so they can get the best out of their own side.
Just as a side point, this is a block of 6 back-to-back games.
Yeah,
that's never been done before in Premiership rugby.
Has
that been spoken about in your pre-season, what have you?
Not in pre-season as such, but it definitely has been spoken about. Once the Prem started, to lead up to the Prem. Obviously, I feel like a lot of clubs will be trying to take it easier during the week, maybe only training 3 days, maybe only training 2 days to make sure they're fresh enough for the games on the weekend. But yeah, 6 games on the trot is a lot. I'm missing out on 2, so I feel like I'm okay. But for the rest of the girls, yeah, that is a big feat.
Well, you're going to have to squeeze 6 games effort into 4, so that's what the girls were expecting.
Can do.
I think X is not a light bunch. Big physical pack that they are. As you say, Rachel Johnson running at you for 80 minutes, literally constantly. I think that's going to take its toll on Bristol. I know there's been a bit of rotation, but not a huge amount. There was only 1 or 2 changes between week 1 and week 2. It's that 5-day turnaround with such a physical game against Exeter. Will Gloucester sense blood?
I don't know if that's going to be at the forefront of their brains. I think more so for Bristol, obviously coming away from that game, a few injuries in there, seems to me, Pam, on social media, in a boot. Hopefully it's not too much of a bad injury for her, but yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of sore bodies. I know only having a 5-day turnaround and having a team like Gloucester to come up against, that's a lot to do in that short amount of time. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how Bristol can turn it around, and also if Gloucester can, capitalise on any bits of fatigue still left.
Who's winning?
I'm going to say Gloucester.
Oof, I'm with you. Sale hosting Exeter. Do people like going up to playing at Sale, or is that just a myth?
People do not like to go up and play against Sale.
Is it because the team, the surroundings? What is it?
I think it's the pitch. The pitch in these cold months is not the nicest to play on, and especially for teams who are used to playing on 4G, Loughborough, or pitches that are quite well kept all the time. Going down to Sale and getting very, very muddy is not the most ideal. But obviously for Sale, that's what they're used to. That's their home ground, and they get a lot of supporters down. So they're in their element, whereas other teams coming down are, thinking, I'm going to be cold, I'm going to be slow. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But I definitely think Exeter are still going to be bringing their A game, and I think Exeter, obviously, I feel like they play the best when they're at home at Sandy Park with their supporters, but they're a team that always comes together. They have star players all over the pitch, so it will still be a very, very tough game for Sale, and hopefully they can bring that winning momentum from the game last week. But I still think Exeter may come away with that win.
Yeah, I think I'm probably with you. I think Sale are bedding in. Some new players in big places, as are Exeter as well. I feel the Exeter squad, and they've had to make some changes. They had a really, really short time to put a team together a couple of years back when they started out, and Susie Appu was getting people from all over the world and created this incredible culture, this family, because people didn't have anyone else around them, and we know how successful they've been in such a short period of time with the different laws of eligibility of English qualified players. There has been a shift and a change, and new regulations and funding and that kind of stuff. But I think the ceiling of this Exeter team, I was having a chat with assistant coach Steve Selvin at the weekend. He feels that the ceiling of this team is probably higher than the previous squad, although not on paper as big as stars.
Exeter are a team who, like to grow their young talent. Obviously, the likes of Maisie Ellen coming through, who has been absolutely smashing it. Katie Buchanan, getting player of the match last week. But also Kobayashi coming back. Obviously, Tessier slotting in the centres as well. I think previously in the previous years, Exeter has been a very, very forward-heavy team, and I think people always knew what to expect for them, even though they did it very, very well. People always knew what to expect. If they get into 22, they're going to go to their forwards, they're going to carry tight, and eventually get over that try line. But I think now they've got threats everywhere, and they're also utilising those threats. So I think I agree with you, Johnny. I think that's where their ceiling is growing so much and getting a lot higher, is because now they've got threats everywhere. And although they have been a team that has been on point and have been able to use their strengths, now they're discovering new ones.
I totally agree. I mean, a back line of Tessier, Cantona, Kobayashi, Buchanan, McDonald, and George. Most people would fall over themselves for that kind of quality. We think they'll be there or thereabouts. Big old game at the Stoop. Harlequins won't have liked losing up at Sale, and then their closest rivals, really. Let's be honest about it. Over the last 5 years, Saracens coming in sparkling form. I think the Sarries juggernaut continues.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. I can only see it going one way, really. But I think for Quins, at this point, I think a lot of it is about earning respect from the league, earning respect from their teammates, and earning respect for themselves as a team, and trying to get back to that Quins, a couple of seasons ago, where they were on top form, and they were feared, coming into the league. So I think for them, they wanted to put out a great performance, no matter what the scoreline is. So that will be interesting to see. But I definitely think Saracens are going to come in, all guns blazing. It's still, like you said, a local rivalry. So they're going to be wanting to put a big score on Harlequins too.
Speaking of rivalries, it's the old first Midlands derby between Loughborough Lightning and Leicester. Has that been sort of pumped into the group this week? The rivalry?
No, actually. Nathan, our head coach, there's no history to it, exactly. There's no history to it. We haven't played Leicester before, and he's kind of said, how can there be a rivalry if you've never played them?
But the respect I meant, last week the away shirt is a Northampton Saints, colours, and there's a connection there, a bridge. So they, in that respect, so the Northampton kind of Midlands rivalry against Leicester. So there isn't a rivalry. How are you going to beat them?
I think for us, we've been working away a lot over the season, and during obviously the Sarries game didn't go our way. Not a result that we wanted, but looking back on it, we actually entered Sarries 22 times and came away with not the amount of points that we wanted to. And I think Sarries entered ours probably half the amount, which shows obviously where we need to work on in our defence. But in terms of our attack and our go forward, we have that in our bank. It's just about putting those last 2-3 phases together and staying patient. So we know what we're capable of. I think now it's just about being patient and being able to put that out on the pitch. So I think for us, kind of the same as Quins, it's obviously earning that respect from the league, but also we want to show Leicester that they're probably thinking they've got nothing to lose, but also a local derby. Loughborough haven't been putting out the best performances. They're probably raring to go, thinking, we can come in and get this win. We want to show them that it's not that easy, and it's not going to happen. So hopefully we put our performance that we're proud of, and obviously come away with that win this weekend.
How for having a week off? You have one game, week off. So hard to get things revving again, or actually quite a nice? There's a hit out, and there's stuff to work on here.
No, yeah, I think it came for us actually at a good time. Going into Leicester, being that being quite a big game for us, and obviously coming off the back of a tough loss. I think it's been really good actually to have that extra bit of time to, reevaluate, do some more analysis, have some time off, and then also come into this week hitting the ground running.
Also, been lucky enough to be involved in the TNT coverage of the opening couple of games. A real honour to open up the coverage. Is that spoken about? Because the game's on TV, isn't it? Is that spoken about in terms of preparation? You sort of Red Roses are slightly more used to that kind of stuff, but it is a bit different, isn't it? With cameras knocking around and people with the microphones striding around trying to look important.
It is a bit different, but no, it's not spoken about. Lightning's way of playing and Nathan's way of coaching is very much focusing on ourselves at all times. Obviously being able to look back at teams before going into a week, but very much as soon as it hits, Thursday before a game day, it's all about Lightning. So obviously last year we did have a few games broadcasted, so I think we are used to that, but it's not something that phases the team or something that's spoken about or made a bigger thing than it needs to be.
Let's finish up for another week. Just a couple of shout outs to finish us up, Sadia.
A big good luck to all of those teams out in Dubai as the yet again revamped World 7 series kicks off at the weekend.
Yes, good luck to them all. And shout out to Mo Hunt and Ella Vivas. The last two Red Roses contracts going to those two scrum halves, joining Lucy Packer there. What's Mo like?
What is Mo like? Mo is, she's great. She's amazing on and off the pitch. Obviously the past couple years in her rugby career have not been the most straightforward, obviously missing out on the World Cup, but coming back and putting an absolute shift in the Prem, and she is just so all about her teams. When she's at Gloucester-Hartpury, she's all about Gloucester-Hartpury. When she's at England, she's all about England, and she'll always put everything out there for the badge that she's wearing, and she's always wanting to get better. Still, she's had a long career and is still at the top of her game, and I think she's still got so much more to give. So yeah, Mo, she's a great player, and also she's great off the pitch as well.
Yeah, a bundle of energy. Always enjoy her company. Just 3 try assists at the weekend in that victory. She reminds me, just the sheer will of some captains can have such an influence on a team. And this, again, is just a personal thought. Martin Johnson's personal will on 2003 England men's team to lift the World Cup, and Mo Hunt's utter iron will to win the Premiership last season, I think saw Gloucester through to a large extent. Not the only reason, of course. Anyway, Ella Vivas, good she contracted, a good scrum half. How well do you know her?
I don't know her so well. I only know her through England, but yeah, Ella is, I think we've now got 3 nines who play quite differently, and Ella is one of those nines who have a really good vision of what's in front of them. She likes to, pick up the ball and run. She likes to pop people into small gaps, and she also has a huge engine on her. Her speed of ball is great, and I think that's one thing that she does bring to the team, is that she's always there, always ready to go, and she's always, putting people in those holes because she's already there. So I think she's also very, very deserving of this contract. I mean, if you come into camp, if you've seen her play, she works so hard, and also her energy and her morale around the camp is something that is really, really uplifting and great for the girls as well. And yeah, so two good players definitely picking up those contracts.
Well, if scrum halves didn't bring energy, you'd be worried, wouldn't you? Let's be honest. No, congratulations to them both. What are you up to the weekend?
I'm going to watch the Leicester game. Going to run the water.
Nice. A H2O technician.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
No, from Cinta, one of the best in the business in terms of water technicians. Good stuff. Do wrap up warm. It is going to be cold out there.
Yeah, might wear 2 layers of skins.
Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. Heated gilets, all the rest of it. Just to remind you then, and always encourage people, get down live if you can. If not, watch the stuff that's on the telly. There's highlights on TNT website and stuff as well of the weekend's roundups on a Monday. But Friday night, 7:30, Shaftesbury Park, Bristol Bears against Gloucester-Hartpury women. 2:00, Sale Sharks score back against Exeter. The Stoop, 3:00, Harlequins against Saracens. Quins are streaming that game, I believe, as well. So check out their website for that. And then Sunday, the live TNT game, 5:30, Leicester Tigers women against Loughborough Lightning. So, absolute pleasure. You put us all to shame with how busy you are, but enjoy the game of the weekend. And great to see you as ever.
All right, thank you for having me.